All right, brewing a batch of green tea for your JUN SCOBY. Things you will need. I reference pages in a book, Big Book of Kombucha. This is specifically written for kombucha, and JUN is a slightly different variant of it, but they're quintessentially the same. So, let me get out of the way of the light. These are batch sizes and the amount of tea and sugar required for them. In comparison to your vessel sizes. So over here, the station, large sink for rinsing your vessel, this is a 2.5 gallon vessel, and compared to a 3-gallon vessel. Is pretty much going to be brewing for a 2-gallon batch with your 2.5 gallon vessel. Now I've added just a little bit more water to it. It was about at this limit of fullness, I guess you should say. You want to leave at least a third of the vessel for your rebrew. I have a sanitized water solution here that I've purchased the sanitation liquid from Brewer's Haven, anywhere from like $5 for I think a smaller vessel, or maybe $8 to $10 for this one. It's rather affordable and it's highly concentrated, so it absolutely lasts. I have 16 ounces, or I believe this is 16 ounces of honey, and the loose leaf green tea that we use is right here. I bring, this is maybe a 5-6 quart size sauce pot that I don't necessarily pay too much attention to the amount of water that goes into it. It's about 4 quarts. I've measured it out before. For the tea, the book recommends 3 to 4 tablespoons. I normally do 4.5 tablespoons. Bring the water to boil, remove from heat, and steep your tea. Now there are steep times also for the varying teas that are recommended. I don't necessarily pay so much attention to those. Water from the reverse osmosis station down on Chinden, just past Orchard on the right hand side, is 30th and Chinden actually. Added lime juice. I prefer lime juice with these blends over lemon juice, is personal preference, but this helps to keep the acidity down, which is important for your brew to begin, I guess, or revive, restart after each rebrewing. So now at this point in time, we're playing the waiting game, being that this tea right now has been brought up to between 180 and 200 degrees, and we're going to want to let it cool to about the JUN SCOBY brews most happily in between the 70 and 75 degree range. I've found that it can be brought up to into the 80s and 90s without damaging the SCOBY. If it's 90s, it make sure it's a short period of time, and I normally do that by adding more water to help expedite the cooling process. There are live bacterium in here at present, so if you just dump your hot tea in here and hopes that it will cool quicker, you risk potentially damaging the microbiome that's happening. These are the SCOBY cakes that I've set aside. I have washed all of my vessels and materials with soapy water, and then I have dunked them in the sanitized water just to clear the hard metals and any other remaining bacteria or whatnot. You drip dry in the sink, shake splash. There will be a residual bubble film on any of your utensils that is harmless to the bacterium for the most part. If you have, of course, a higher concentration of sanitizer that you pour any type of bacterium into, it will work to kill it. So I generally make sure I shake the vessels mostly clean, give them another little rinse, and so that the majority of the bubbles are have been washed from the inside of the vessel. The spigots take apart easily, of course, and you wash those and dunk those in the standing water too before you reattach them. And I split, this vessel had about twice the amount in there that I'm making 2 batches from, of course, as you see with the scobies there. So I just split the difference between the 2 of them, so they were about 1/3 apiece.